Hello, I'm an indie developer using Unity since Unity version 5, and I wanted to give you my opinion on the recent Unity feed changes as of 2023. And yeah, it was a few weeks ago, but I wanted to wait until I see how everything unfolds, and now I have the complete picture in my head. So I'm not going to talk that much about what exactly those changes are, because I suppose that if you're watching this video you know them, but I want to give a brief summary and what exactly I think is going wrong. Okay, so Unity wants to make money. We understand that, we know that, and as developers, we are okay to be paying Unity, especially if we have something that is successful, because previously you weren't paying before $100,000 a year, and now it is $200,000. So yeah, of course, if we have a successful product, we have as developers no problem supporting Unity, the thing that we have used to develop our games. Okay, so everybody was expecting a price increase or something, but what actually Unity announces is that they are going to charge you per install. And I'm actually going to show somewhere on the screen the exact fees that Unity announced at the start, so that you can also take a look. But as I said, I suppose that you know that already. And the problem with that is that for some people it makes no sense at all. So for example, if I'm selling my VR game at 6.99 and 30% go to Meta, then I have 10% going to taxes, and if I'm paying 20 cents per install, that's okay for me. But if you have a free to play game, something that everybody's getting, like a mobile game, for example, that you download for free, and you have some kind of in-app purchases, and in this example there might be 100 people that have downloaded your app for free and one is paying you, and that's completely okay, you're still making money. But if you need to pay per install, if 100 people install your game and you need to pay 20 cents for every single person, then you're paying $20. And from those 100 people, if somebody makes some in-app purchases for $10, then normally you would have been winning $10, but now you'll be losing $10 because that's how it works. And also it was very controversial who is going to track those installs, what happens when we talk about piracy, because sadly it's out there. What also happens, because when they say installs, I can get a game and then get it again. I can uninstall it and install it. I can make a script that is continuing to install and uninstall a game, and what happens then? So they kinda after that double down on this, and then a week later actually made some changes that make a lot of sense, so that it will be capped at 2.5% and that nobody is going to pay more than that. And overall, I would say that as a community, the developers are happy with the last changes that Unity introduced, but they could have made it from the start. Just say you'll be paying 2.5%. For example, with Unreal, you're paying 5%. So even if it was a little bit higher than 2.5%, it was still going to be okay. But the biggest problem is that there are people that made out the math. If you have a free-to-play game, I'm actually also going to share the graph here and also with some links in the description so that you can read a little bit more about it if you're interested. But there were some points that you were needed to pay more than 100% of your revenue to Unity, which is, if we can make that statistic, if somebody on YouTube can do that, then how can Unity cannot, or are they like knowingly publishing and making changes that will those changes are going to bankrupt some of their customers? Like, this doesn't make sense at all. And here the biggest problem is that it looks like that Unity just doesn't understand their customers. They don't care what is happening, or they just don't know, and all of the options are all bad. So also some people are giving an example with products from Adobe with this install fee. So imagine that you're using Photoshop and you make some really nice picture, some drawing, or you just edit a photo or something and then you publish it somewhere, and every single time that somebody sees this picture you need to pay Adobe 10 cents or 1 cent for seeing the picture, and somebody can continue refreshing the picture and you need to pay for every single time that he refreshes the picture or so on. So this makes completely no sense. You're paying for the tools, in this case Unity or Photoshop or whatever, and you need to own the product, the thing that you have actually created with them, and not that it's still owned by Unity or whatever. And there was also another controversy that Level Play is something that Unity owns and is a competitor of AppLovin, and they kind of say that you weren't going to use, you wouldn't need to pay those fees if you were monetizing your games with their services. So for example, this is completely uncompetitive, and I don't know what to say about that. It's just getting worse and worse. So, but what will happen in the end? So now, after all the changes, when they say that it's only going to be at 2.5%, as I said, I would think that for most people that will be okay, but most people also lost their trust in Unity because all of this was really not a good idea. And from my point of view, we will see in the future that many people will continue to use Unity. They will still see games developed with Unity, but there also will be people that will be switching to Unreal or something else, and also many people just lost their trust in Unity. So in my case, I'm not only doing game development, so I'm currently focusing a little bit on web development, so I'm not going to be using Unity maybe in the next 1-2 years. Of course, I'll be continuing to support my game and other projects, but for me currently I don't have the need to continue using Unity. But if I needed to use Unity right now, I will really rethink about it. And yeah, of course it is a great thing for developing games or whatever, for people that have been using it for so long as me, or some people that have been using it for longer. It is a very big shift if you need to start using something else, but at the end you also cannot continue to use something that is making those kind of changes. And yeah, imagine that you have 3 years to develop some big AAA game or something, even something bigger or whatever, even more, and you have a team of people, you're paying them, they're specializing in Unity and they understand everything, and you invest all this time developing something with Unity, of those talents that can do stuff with Unity, and in the end Unity turns out and says, okay, yeah, but this strategy that you had now no longer works because we have different fees, and for some people those fees will be completely okay, and for others we will bankrupt you. So have fun. How can you continue to trust that if you have high stakes and have invested a lot of money in Unity and the whole ecosystem? Okay, so I think that this is my opinion. I still like Unity. I hope that they make some better changes in the future so that we can continue to use it, because it is good. But if we, at least I don't see anything that kinda regains my trust in a year or two, or whenever I will need to develop another game or start a new project, then I'll be definitely considering if I should be choosing something else. And yeah, if you have some thoughts about it, you can leave it in the comments, and I'll be linking some other stuff that you can take a look about. And yeah, thank you for watching, and bye.